let's be honest, we live in a world where technology kind of runs everything from banking to autocorrect on your phone to a 64 gigabyte flash drive that you can install a full computer on. Technology is everywhere, and the people that make this technology are computer scientists. So why is it that computer science isn't taught in K through 12 classrooms when it's such a big, important part of our life? I asked around 20 so of my friends a couple of years ago why they didn't major in computer science. A couple of them told me that they're not interested in it at all, and a majority of them told me that if they were introduced to it at a beginning age or a younger grade level, that they would have loved to do it, because it's something that you can learn at any age, but a lot of people are intimidated by the fact that it's just a bunch of code that they're reading and looking at. So if you start to learn it early, then it's easier, but you can always do it later on. There's a lot of advantages to learning how to code, which can help a younger person from an 8-year-old to a high schooler. It teaches you, or it's like an art form in some cases, either that's the final product or the code formatting itself. Everyone should be able to express themselves, and schools love to push creativity in their art classes or just in general. Imagine that instead of creating a piece of art with a pen and paper, you can create a whole website based for your final art project. In my case, that would be a great thing, because honestly, I suck at art. I cannot draw and I cannot paint, but I can make a website and I can make things flow on it. Programming gives you a sense of accomplishment, and kids need that sense of accomplishment because it seems like lately a lot of people are put down without them realizing that they can achieve simple things, whether it's making a text box pop up on your computer that says hello world, or if that's just a simple picture that you made because you made it yourself and not somebody else. According to Bill Gates, learning to program stretches your mind and it helps you think better. It creates a way of thinking about things that is helpful in many domains. What he's saying here is that when you learn to program, you learn lots of different things. You learn critical thinking and you learn how to time management. The way Steve Jobs put it is that it teaches you how to think. And when you realize it does teach you how to think, you can apply those different aspects of learning to different parts of it. You need critical thinking in order to do math problems, which also involves programming. And you need time management to do your projects throughout school and your daily life, whether that's your social life or school. Schools love test scores, and an elementary school teacher noticed that after he introduced programming to his students, that his test scores rose by 30%. And that actually surprised me because I didn't think that something that I love doing would increase my test scores. It also, like I said, it also teaches you time management. And when I first started to program, I noticed that I did manage my time better. Instead of doing the paper the morning of, I did it the night before. I mean, I guess that's a baby step, but hopefully I'll do it a week before. That brings us to our next topic, that these new programmers, when they learn at an early age, they'll be able to use the thing that they learn at an early age in order to bring that into their work life. According to code.org, in the next 10 years, there will be 1.4 million jobs in the computer science field, but there will only be 40,000 qualified graduates. For those interested in money, that means computer programmers will make more due to the demand that it needs, because there's only 400,000 and there's 1.4 million jobs. That's obviously a number, that's obviously a lack of people. So they need to pay these programmers. It also equals job security because there will be jobs for a long time. Technology will always be in our lives, whether that's programming or that's making a new wheel. But technology will always be there, and you can always apply programming to everywhere throughout your life. So if kids or high schoolers learn this, they can apply this in the workforce, and they can also apply it everywhere throughout their life. In closing, students of all ages need a way to express themselves, and they need to feel like they achieved something. To learn multiple life skills. All of these things can be accomplished by teaching them how to code in school through K through 12 classes. And if any of you would like to start to learn, go ahead and talk to me and I can have you. Thank you.
Jason, what did you think?
I thought his speech was well structured. I liked his attention device, how if we were to imagine if we were being taught computer science at an early age, where would we be now? I feel like his speech was well structured, and I really liked his conclusion, how he wrapped things up. And I liked how he used quotes from was it
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, and how he explained that. But I feel like he looked at the paper too much, as well as I felt the speech was it lacked transition words. He was just kind of like just saying it, and it wasn't really smooth. So I would have loved to see more transition words, so your speech would flow better.
All right. I like the rhetorical question that you set up at the beginning of the speech. I thought that set up your topic very effectively, and your goal that people ought to become programmers, or that we ought to be. I thought your argument was originally going to be why we need to have programming taught in the elementary schools and starting it early in the process. As it went along, although that's a part of the argument, it's not the main focus that you have. It's really more a generic speech about why learning programming is a good thing and what some of the advantages are. I think that if you'd focused a lot more on that idea of keeping it in the schools and starting early and integrating it in as a part of the regular curriculum, that your speech would have been a little bit more effective. As it was, I like the idea. I thought you gave good reasons why people ought to know some programming. There's a sense of satisfaction coming from being able to do these sorts of things. There are job opportunities. You actually have some statistical information suggesting that that's where the future is, although I'm not sure how contemporary some of that information is, but I did like the idea of that at least you've got a visualization here that suggests that there's a future in this particular field, and being able to do those things requires some kind of training. The notion that people might be resistant because it's code-based and it's something that they have to learn, that's another reason why I think you needed to develop that stuff about why we ought to be doing it early in school. Like a lot of things, the earlier people start them, the easier it is for them to do. It becomes more naturalistic. I'm sure everybody in here can swipe text faster than they could actually type. That sort of thing. People are doing those sorts of things, and they learn that early on. Languages are one of those things. If you're learning multiple languages as you grow up, that's a lot easier than trying to go back and learn a second language after you've spent 15 years or 20 years learning your first language. If we treated coding the same way we treated learning how to read or how to write or how to do a language or arts sort of thing, learning math, if we did those things along the same stages, I think we'd be better preparing our society. I think there's a good argument to be made there, and you don't quite get to that, and that really seemed like that's where you were headed at first. Your personal experiences, I think, are a good illustration of some of the advantages of being able to do that and the satisfaction that you get from being able to do those sort of things. So I just think that needed to be the bigger part of the argument than it was. Looking back, I can kind of see a structure in the presentation, but there's not really a preview at the beginning of the speech. I didn't see very clear structural signposts along the way, so I thought that was a little bit problematic. Delivery, I think your vocal delivery is really solid. Your audience contact is really solid. I wasn't too distracted by your having to look at your notes occasionally, except when you pick them up. I think a lot of your anxiety issues come out with your hands. You just have this tendency to do certain kinds of things with your hands. Sometimes it's like the dry, invisible hand washing sort of thing that's going on, and your energy level's coming out that way. So that's something that I think you want to work on a little bit. All right.